Trump asks Supreme Court to let him fire FTC Commissioner Slaughter. President Trump is asking the Supreme Court to intervene in the case of Rebecca Slaughter, a Federal Trade Commission commissioner he fired. Lower courts have already ordered her reinstatement, a decision the White House contests, arguing the president acted within his legal authority to remove agency heads. The White House maintains that the Supreme Court has previously upheld the president's power in similar situations and expects a favorable ruling. This action follows Trump's March dismissal of Slaughter and another commissioner, Alvaro Bedoya, with Slaughter subsequently suing for reinstatement. A federal judge initially ruled the firing illegal, a decision upheld by the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. The appeals court determined that FTC commissioners can only be removed for cause, such as neglect or malfeasance, which was absent in Slaughter's case. Slaughter has since returned to her position at the FTC. This legal battle highlights a broader question regarding the president's authority to remove federal regulators and represents a significant challenge to the lower court's rulings.
In our next story, how to watch Cowboys vs. Eagles for free in NFL season kickoff. The NFL season kicks off tonight with a highly anticipated divisional clash between the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles, led by quarterback Jalen Hurts and running back Saquon Barkley, are looking to defend their title with a largely unchanged roster. However, the Cowboys enter the game with a significantly altered defense. A blockbuster trade sent defensive end Micah Parsons to Green Bay, and the team also hired a new defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, signaling a major defensive overhaul. The game starts at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time tonight and will be broadcast on NBC. For those without cable, streaming options include DirecTV, offering a 5-day free trial, and Peacock, with a 7-day free trial. This opening night matchup promises an exciting contest between two fierce rivals, with the Cowboys' revamped defense facing the formidable Eagles' offense in what is sure to be a thrilling season opener. In our next story, Trump says the U.S. military destroyed a boat operated by Tren de Aragua off Venezuela. Here's what to know about the gang. The U.S. military conducted a deadly strike on a boat in the Caribbean, allegedly carrying drugs from Venezuela and linked to the Tren de Aragua gang. President Trump's administration claims the 11 individuals killed were gang members, justifying the action as a necessary measure to combat the perceived threat. While the White House has offered limited details, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth vowed continued strikes against those trafficking in the region. The Tren de Aragua gang, originating in a Venezuelan prison, has expanded its operations across Latin America, recruiting from Venezuelan migrants. While its involvement in large-scale international drug trafficking is disputed, the gang is known for violent crimes like extortion, kidnapping, and human trafficking. President Trump has repeatedly linked the gang to violence in U.S. cities, a claim challenged by local authorities and a declassified U.S. intelligence assessment. Despite differing views on the gang's influence, President Trump designated Tren de Aragua a foreign terrorist organization, leading to sanctions and deportations. A recent U.S. appeals court decision ruled against using an 18th-century law to expedite deportations of suspected gang members, but the Supreme Court will make a final decision. The administration's justification for the deadly strike rests heavily on the alleged connection to the gang, although evidence remains scant and the incident raises questions about due process and intelligence gathering. The Venezuelan government disputes the U.S. account of the incident, questioning the authenticity of released video evidence. Experts express concern about the potential for excessive force and the lack of transparency surrounding the strike, highlighting the need for careful consideration of intelligence and adherence to international law in future operations.
In our next story, Alex Karp sees tech talent pay spiking as AI competition heats up. Palantir CEO Alex Karp predicts a surge in the value of skilled workers, particularly in tech, even amidst potential industry contraction. He highlights the increasing importance of highly skilled individuals, especially those with technical expertise, forecasting a rise in their salaries. This comes after a summer of intense AI activity, where a select few reaped huge rewards while many others face layoffs. Despite Palantir exceeding its second quarter earnings expectations, Karp suggests the company might follow the trend of leaner teams, reducing its workforce while simultaneously increasing revenue. This indicates a shift towards prioritizing highly skilled individuals and optimizing efficiency. Karp's comments paint a picture of a changing landscape in the tech industry, where top talent will command premium salaries, but might also face a demanding work culture, exemplified by Palantir's no holidays policy. This reflects a growing emphasis on efficiency and maximizing the output of highly skilled employees. The combination of increasing demand for skilled workers and a focus on leaner teams suggests a future where highly specialized talent holds significant power and influence within the tech industry, potentially impacting company structures and work-life balance. In our next story, Shots, Health News. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s tenure as Health and Human Services Secretary is facing intense scrutiny following a contentious Senate hearing. Both Democrats and Republicans voiced concerns over his decisions, particularly his shifting stance on vaccines and his actions impacting vaccine access. Republican senators, some who initially supported his confirmation, criticized his reversal on promises to uphold vaccine access, pointing to the cancellation of mRNA research funding and changes to the advisory panel on immunization practices. They expressed alarm over the potential for reduced access to crucial vaccines like measles and hepatitis B. Democrats echoed these concerns, with several senators calling for Kennedy's resignation. They highlighted his dismissal of the newly appointed CDC chief and broader staff reductions across federal health agencies. Specific criticism centered on Kennedy's actions potentially hindering childhood vaccination efforts and undermining decades of public health progress. The conflicting statements made by Kennedy regarding vaccine access and effectiveness only added to the controversy. Kennedy defended his actions, claiming they were necessary to restore the agency's integrity and citing support from scientists and doctors nationwide. He countered accusations of being anti-vaccine, insisting he merely advocates for more research into potential vaccine risks. However, his explanations failed to appease the senators, many of whom remained deeply skeptical of his leadership and its impact on public health. The hearing exposed deep divisions on vaccine policy and the role of government health agencies. Kennedy's actions, including personnel changes and policy shifts, have sparked widespread debate and concern about the future direction of vaccine accessibility and public health initiatives within the